hell is happening with Chanel, guys? Is it over? Are they just gonna stick with the design team now? Is there not gonna be any new designer? And where is Virginie going? Is she just going to retire? I don't know when they will have a new designer for Chanel. Maybe none of the designers, the big designers that we've spoken about, you know, like Jean Galliano, Marc Jacobs, maybe they don't want the job. It is the end of an era here, guys. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. Thanks so much to you guys who wished me well in my last video. I am still a bit sick, so I thought I'd quickly smash out a few videos and talk to you guys about the latest Chanel Haute Couture fashion show. Now, Virginie has said to be left Chanel now. She no longer works at Chanel, and she was the designer for Chanel for the last few years, and she took the realm of Karl Lagerfeld after he'd been designing as the creative director of Chanel since the 80s. Now, Virginie had worked with Karl for many decades, and it's very odd that she left all of a sudden without even a little bit of a public goodbye, and this makes one wonder whether she left on bad terms, whether she was fired, or whether she left on her own terms. And in my opinion, guys, I do believe that she left on her own terms. I would definitely recommend watching Super Jacob's videos about Virginie's departure as well. He has a little bit more insight and a little bit more intel as to what may have gone down behind the scenes. And in terms of Virginie as a creative director, I think she was super strong in terms of, I mean, it's reflected in the sales. The ready-to-wear sold much more than when Karl was there. But a lot of people missed, including myself, the fantasy and over-the-top sets and I guess storylines that Karl brought to Chanel. And although Virginie seemed a little bit more commercial in a way, she was very much in line with what maybe Coco Chanel herself would have designed, and she always referenced things that Coco Chanel did from the past, and even what Karl had done in the past. And there was a lot about her which you don't know what you got till it's gone kind of situation. There is lots of elements that she brought to Chanel that I probably didn't appreciate as much as I do now that she is gone. And upon watching this Haute Couture fashion show, I feel really sad, guys. I think it's really sad that she left the way she did, that she wasn't mentioned at the end, that she didn't have her final bow, and it's just left in, like, I almost felt emotional watching this show, guys. Was it just me? And another thing I want to mention, to be honest, guys, which I think is shameful, is that Chanel turned off the comments on this fashion show, which honestly, I feel like the comments would have been very honest. I think they would have been like, oh my gosh, what happened to Virginie? Like, you know, oh no, like, you know, and there could have been stuff like that, but they left the comments on for the cruise show, which I spoke about in a previous video, and a lot of the comments on that fashion show that are really negative, and they were all left on. People saying that the collection looks like Zara, people saying they miss Karl, people saying you know, there was a lot of critique. There was some positivity as well. There was a lot of negativity as well. It's called Cruise and the Boat is Sinking. I don't know why they left the comments on for this fashion show, but then disabled it for the Haute Couture. Maybe they have something to hide, you guys. Maybe they have something to hide and they don't want us to know. Or they don't want maybe some internal people to tell what happened, what went down. They're really keeping it hush-hush. I'm gonna go through some of the looks today and just like watch it with you guys. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing because I think this is gonna make the video go too long, but just some of the looks that I thought were just so captivating in the show. And let me know, what do you think about Virginie leaving Chanel as well, because I think a lot of people celebrated it in a way and was hopeful. I was also curious, like, who's going to be the next Chanel designer? I was thinking, oh, they're going to bring in Marc Jacobs, Eddie Slimane, like that would really shake it up, and that would be, I guess it would be interesting to watch, right? Like, I'll just get my popcorn out and see what happens with Chanel, because for a long time I have fallen out of Chanel myself, which I think you guys have noticed on my channel. I sold all my Chanel bags. I'm not happy with the quality. I don't think it's worth the price. Also, I found that there was just like not enough innovation in Chanel to make it look like it had a positive future. That's just how I feel. And I've made a lot of videos on my channel on why I no longer buy Chanel, but a part of me is sad, and I do feel bad for Virginie and how I don't think she deserves this kind of treatment at all. Absolutely not. I think it's a shame as well. I think it's a real shame that she felt like she had to leave, allegedly, and they actually don't have a new designer for Chanel, it said, and I don't know when they will have a new designer for Chanel, or if they'll even be able to get another designer in. Maybe none of the designers, the big designers that we've spoken about, you know, like Jean Galliano, Marc Jacobs, maybe they don't want the job. I mean, Chanel, they're already doing 10 collections a year. Do you really want to have that responsibility? And do you really want to be also, I guess, put in a glass box in a way? Like, you don't necessarily have the creative freedom that maybe you could have at other designer brands working for Chanel. It would be a lot to have on your plate, not to mention that the public ridicule you're getting and judgment you're getting from the general public if your collection does not appeal to the masses, which I do notice that Virginie did get that a lot, and I can understand why she may want to leave. Now, I have no idea why she did leave, and it is said, as I said, they have not found a designer for Chanel yet. The next few collections are going to be studio collections, so I guess designed by the design team. And it's probably just going to be the same vibe, probably that Virginie brought to the company. I've noticed a similar thing happened when before Riccardo Tisci left Burberry. They had a few collections which were designed by the design studio, or like the design office, before Daniel Lee came on board. So they are in a transitioning phase at the moment. Let's see where that transition will go. It is the end of an era here, guys. Like, Virginie worked with Karl for decades and she carried that legacy on. Who knows who will be able to follow after this. But yeah, let's go through some of the looks now in the Haute Couture collection. So Haute Couture basically means that it is made to order and very expensive, only for the top elite clients. And yeah, it won't be commercially available through the boutiques. You'll have to be some sort of a person or elite client to order it for yourself, made to measure. Now, Virginie, I've noticed that she always does these kind of cape looks. If you go back to like a Medea Dar collection from a few years ago, with like the witches' hats and the capes. It's a very signature look for her. A lot of other elements that Virginie tends to bring is like 80s elements and rock and roll vibe. And I do see that through this runway show as well. I absolutely love the look of the neckline on this really fitted tailored jacket with the contrasting black buttons. That is just divine, and the velvet little tassel-y trims. This one was also gorgeous with the feather trim. She does also favor using feathers a lot throughout her shows, so you can see that this collection was designed by Virginie. There was a lot of aspects of what she had in her previous shows that has been brought to this collection. So this collection was not only done by the design team. I do believe it was her idea, and it's a shame that she wasn't credited in this case. Now, because it is Haute Couture, there's a lot of fine details, beautiful embroideries, Lesage tweed, you know, the hand-woven tweed, impeccable fabrics, which you do see, you know, these pieces are just so intricate. You know, you look at the little beading on the skirt and then the little shawl there. And it's interesting that there was just this one purple look. And I did notice that in the past, Virginie did favor that particular purple as well. So I don't know if that's like a reference to like 80s color palettes, but that is a purple that she really loved. And notice the shoulder pads as well and the small waist. It's very much like, you know, like an 80s silhouette. Again, I really love this like cut of the coat. That's really beautiful. And I did notice a lot of nipped in waists in this collection as well, and more exaggerated puff sleeves or shoulders to contrast the small waist. Here we have just, it looks like little gemstones all the way around the neckline and down the center. A really gorgeous effect there. A lot of black, a lot of white, but also a few like metallic pieces. This beautiful gold dress with that kind of like 70s, you know, you see that in like tunics and stuff, that weird cut neckline. A bib dress. I know Super Jacob, he always mentions how Virginie loves her bib silhouettes or bib outfits. She does always do that, right? She has these like very fancy bibs. And this was a bit more of a piratey shirt there with the puffy sleeves. Let's fast forward a little bit to the middle. Now, this pink ensemble here, wait, let me just get to it. Okay, I love these like little peplum outfits. I love a good peplum jacket. I think it's actually really flattering on the right person. It can look quite cute. And this pastel pink look was honestly my favorite. Love the shade, love the big black bow, obsessed. Like, honestly, guys, that is just so adorable. Okay, and then we went into this more like latex section, which I think is where Virginia's more like edgy side comes out. And I know it's a bit cliche, but you don't often see like latex in haute couture, but I think it works well because she's contrasted it with these like gowns and like very tailored jackets and tulle and then bows, and it's got a bit of like a rock and roll, like there's some elements of this show that's very girly girl and like princessy, but then there's also, it's a nice balance of that with this like more, yeah, like dominatrix kind of look. And interesting to have like this beaded dress with the feather and then the latex. It's a lot, but it works. Okay, I love this look. This like high-waisted pants with like the little princess bodice, obsessed, and then the cape and the bow. I don't know, something about that just reminded me of like Sailor Moon. I don't know what it was. I think because Sailor Moon also has that like V shape in her little outfit, but it just loved it. That was gorgeous. And then it went into this more like really dramatic black section of the show, with these big poofy skirts, ballerina skirts, tulle, just gorgeous. You know, usually I'm not a huge fan of all Virginie's collections, but this one really spoke to me. Something about it I thought was just so breathtaking and quite unique as well, particularly this outfit with like the culottes, which Coco Chanel is very famous for, and then they laid it with this like tulle kind of puffy thing over the top, and then the big hair bow. I'm a huge fan of like the tulle. I should have worn my hair bow today, guys. Like usually I wear it, but I totally forgot because I'm sick and my nose is kind of running right now. It's really gross. A lot of capes. She does really love her capes. I almost wish that she brought back that weird witch's hat that she had in like a previous fashion show. But they kind of played it safe with the headpieces. It was mainly just those big bows that they used. And then I just want to get straight to the wedding dress look, which is always the most memorable. This is like a full 80s wedding dress. Like this reminds me of my mum's wedding dress when she had this like pink blush and like puff sleeve and this little mini waist. Very dramatic, very, I mean, I think this is very Virginie as well. And then instead of the black hair bow, she has the white hair bow, no veil. All the drama is in the bodice. Let me just go back to it, guys. It was really, okay. Yeah, look at that. Whoa. Does she look like a wedding cake? Yes. Is it a lot? Yes, but may as well go out with a bang, right? Look at all that puffiness. All the little like, wow. I mean, I don't know, guys. It's a lot. Is it that flattering to have that big puff? I mean, it's cool, right? Can you imagine like being married in this dress? Wow. Be like, I'm going to order that for my wedding, guys. It looks, I mean, it's quite cool. It's very dramatic, very puffy. Yeah, wow. And then you're going back to all these little cords that come out again. I think it's like, I mean, I really like it. There's a lot of elements to it that I felt inspired by. Much better than like the last, I mean, it is haute couture. You can't compare it to the cruise collection, but there are a lot of elements to it that I think are just really classic, gorgeous. Yeah, I liked it, guys. So I think it's, yeah, a good way to end it for Virginie. I thought it was really beautiful. I haven't really read anyone else's review on what they think of the show yet. But let me know what you think. I mean, there was no bags because it's haute couture. There was like no little clutches or anything. It was all emphasizing on the clothes. But yeah, if you were that kind of clientele, I mean, if I was like a multi-millionaire and I was like one of the guests at this show, I would probably buy some of those like little cords. I thought they were adorable. I love the little peplum looks. Yeah, oh my gosh, I gotta stop the screen recording. Yeah, guys, so let me know what you think of Virginie's last show. I know she was not credited. Let me know if you have any more intel on what is happening with Chanel. What the hell is happening with Chanel, guys? Is it over? Are they just going to stick with the design team now? Is there not going to be any new designer? And where is Virginie going? Is she just going to retire? Probably. I don't blame Virginie, to be honest. I think she's worked hard enough over these years, harder than most of us will ever in our whole lifetime. So anyways, thanks for listening to my blabby video today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys on my next one. Bye!